Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Minimalist Run. And we are actually going to encounter an enemy that hadn't been seen since Legend of Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, the Iron Knuckle. These were very difficult and tough enemies back in that game, and although they're not as difficult as they were back in Legend of Zelda 2, they're still very dangerous. They take off, I think, 4 hearts. 4 hearts off of your health meter, which of course is an instant kill with me right here. So that axe is extremely deadly. This is a one-shot, one-hit kill enemy. So one mistake and I'm dead. I am just not gonna survive. So there's 2 different attacks. He's got that one where he swings it back and forth once or twice, like that attack, and then there's one where it's really quick where he slams it into the ground. And that one is a very hard one to dodge because it happens so fast. Then about the halfway point he loses most of his armor and becomes faster. But overall, he's a fairly easy mini-boss type enemy, except that if he hits you, he punishes you so bad for your mistake. But we get our first item of 2. But before that, one last message from Kepora Gebora, who obviously saw us as an adult back when we learned the Requiem of Spirit, no doubt. So he probably is like a time traveler, and he kind of knows the past and the future, and, you know, all throughout the present, so he knows what's going on. If you think about it, that's almost like a common tactic in most games, which have like magic-based beings, is turn their magic power against them. Even in the very first Legend of Zelda, I think you had the ability to reflect magic back at certain things, but it's just a common tactic to just reflect magic users' magic back at them because, I mean, even Aghanim from Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, you had to reflect magic back at him. So this is a very common tactic used in most Zelda games. So it comes to no surprise that you need to do the same thing here with the witches. Uh-oh, what's going on? Where is it, Link? Where are they? Yeah, I like the fact that he just almost misses these 2 witches swirling around Naburu here. Now, it's probably a good thing that she's talking to him, but these witches are paying no mind to who she's talking to, not even taking into account that there could be a second person, and they go back into the Colossus. But Link would probably be no match for these 2 witches if they found him and they tried to attack him here up on this ledge. It would probably be game over for Link. He is not even prepared to face these witches. So he got off a little lucky there. But we are actually done with the Spirit Temple for the adult, or for the child, and now it's time to go to the adult. See, I get the 2 mixed up, whatever. Now, if all goes well, and I don't need anything from the past, this is the last time we will be a child in this game. We will have no need and no reason to go back to the past after we become an adult again. So from here on out, it's just adult Link till the end of the game. Now, granted, I think certain heart pieces you need to come back as a child to get, with some items from the future or abilities or some such, but for the most part, main quest story-wise, you don't really have anything else left to do in the past. So as before, I don't want to cross Gerudo Valley, desert, and all that, so I'm just going to warp myself straight there. And to save, you know, running time on this video, it's easier just to warp there. forgot what about the Circle of Stones, if they have anything important in them, or is it just a small little hole in the ground that you can open up, and there's like some rubies or bombs or something down there. I know a couple of them hold a couple gold Skulltulas, but I haven't collected the gold Skulltulas in a very long time. Like, once you get past like 50, there's really no point collecting the golden Skulltulas, because 50 you get the piece of heart, and then you get nothing for 60, 70, 80, 90, and then you get infinite money once you get all 100. But by then, you've pretty much beaten almost all the game and bought everything that you could possibly need to by the time you get your 100 gold Skulltulas. So it's kind of a worthless present. I mean, I guess it pays to get it so you can forever be rich for the remainder of the game, but there's really no point. Oop. Standing a little close to the trap there. So, like before, we're gonna have to go around the center room, solving little mini puzzles along the way, until we can get the key that opens up that door. So the first floor is more or less the same for both adult and well, there goes that. Adult and child, except the difference here is just, you know, just the puzzles that you have to do and the obstacles you have to get past. That's kind of funny. I just knocked the Wolfos down at the pit there. That's pretty hilarious. I'm probably gonna have to fight him on the way out, though. Yeah, I do remember the compass being absolutely useless for earlier Zelda games, like the original Legend of Zelda, but all it did was show you the location of the boss, which really explored the dungeon thoroughly well. You're gonna find the boss eventually. It was such a useless item. But here, where the compass shows you not just the boss area, but also all of the chests in every single room, now that's useful. Anyway, here we have, yet again, the silver rubies. This one is no different. Very simple. It's more of an obstacle course than anything else. No real puzzle to solve. Ah, I remember this. Oh my gosh. That would have been terrible. Like just straight smack dab on top of you, and there goes your shield or tunic. Those are expensive. If you lose the free one you have in this game, and you want to buy another, that's expensive. That's like 200 to 300 coins gone out of your pocket. And on a minimalist run, that spells death for you in certain areas, like having to swim underwater for extended periods of time, or a hot area that only gives you like a minute to get through. You're done. You're gonna have to break your minimalist run. You might as well just restart. So don't lose tunics. Oh gosh, another one. As I'm talking about these likes, here they come. Oh, no, 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 no! Oh, wow, likes are super scary during a minimalist run. They mean the difference between continuing on or resetting your game from the last save point. Ah, yes. Even here, there's some invisible enemies you're going to need the Lens of Truth for. Floor Master. Well, you know what? That's fine. That'll work. That'll work. It's a good thing it's not a Ceiling Master, because then it could just hop back up on the ceiling and find you again. Okay, any of these chests either have little minimal treasures or just have traps in them that freeze you. Just don't open these chests. Plain and simple. There's a fourth sun switch, but unless you want to get 100% all the chests in the game, there really isn't any reason to activate that fourth sun switch. There is definitely something there that you need. And then there's a Triforce on that hand. So obviously the best thing you can think of at this point is the hover boots. So I guess that was their way of coming to grips with putting the Spirit Temple after the Shadow Temple, where you have to get the hover boots from the Shadow Temple to get to the Spirit Temple. Or can you? I don't know. I think that's just a shortcut to the beginning, but I could be wrong. Again, I'm still not familiar with all of the Spirit Temple, even though I've played this game millions of times. The Spirit Temple, for whatever reason, the memory escapes me of all of its intricacies. I think that's a key. This is the remote control stick not being very nice to me. Precision is not its best fit. I think this is a shortcut, so I don't think you need the hover boots, and I think you can actually spin jump off the upper platform to get to that hand with the Triforce Mark II, so I think you can still complete this without the hover boots from the Shadow Dungeon. We'll see what happens. Again, this is a post-commentary run, where I've already recorded all this, and I'm just kind of commentating as I'm rewatching it. It's been like months since this particular section has been recorded, but I can't remember. It's been so long. Yeah, I think, yeah, that just brings you down to the entrance of the dungeon. That little platform. So that way you don't have to go through all that mess just to get to this main entry, or this main statue room. So that's good. That's nice. Shortcuts are always nice, even if you never use them. It's good that the developers actually thought ahead in that instant. Just keep on going. Oh, this is somewhat of a complex room. First off, you gotta see where the flames are. Or, you can do a little bit of a cheat and go like this, and kill the Anubises straight off the bat. That gets rid of them and destroys a little bit of the complexity of this room in the process, which is fine. Less complex is always good. That did not work well at all. And wasted fire arrows. And there were 3 of them, actually. Would you look at that? Apparently that was needed to happen. I'm trying to remember which door you needed to go through. And I chose right. Now this puzzle is a little bit difficult if you can't time it right. I remember as a young child having a devil of a time getting this particular Armos statue onto this switch. Yeah, you gotta choose the right Armos statue to do it, and I think the one you need to choose is the one in the far back. Then have him, yep, have him step on it, and then quickly go to the door before he steps off. The timing on that was infuriating to me as a young child. And now you have to face the Iron Knuckle not just once, but twice. And just like before, he is a one-hit kill. I'm probably going to need those hearts. Woo! Getting a little dicey here. And he can break those pillars if you need some more hearts, in case you weren't doing a minimalist run and you were losing hearts left and right. And here's just kind of putting on the pressure to him, making sure he doesn't get an attack in until he dies. And he goes down faster as an adult than a child because, of course, the Master Sword does more damage. And this is the second item of the dungeon. I don't know about you, it feels like I went through this adult side of the dungeon a lot faster than I did the child side. But this is where you get the mirror shield, first introduced in Link to the Past. And let's, first things first, let's equip this baby. Because you will need it to beat this game. Look at that. Looks amazing. So as far as I know, I think we still need a key before we can proceed onward. So now that we have the mirror shield, we can reflect light now as a beam and focus it on these sun switches, which will come in handy. Given the micro-puzzle room-by-room nature of this dungeon, I'm really surprised they didn't put some sort of small little puzzle in that room too. Instead, it's just open chest, continue on type of deal. Oh gosh, this room. I remember this room. The first couple times playing this game, until I got better at play control and just playing games in general, this area was so hard for me to get through. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna have to kill that thing. But this part was so hard to get through because if you try and move between the moving sections of the wall as they're moving, it counts as a mistake and you get hurt and fall to the bottom. So see how I wait until it stops? Whew! Yeah, you gotta wait till they stop and then move between the sections. Otherwise you will fall to the ground. But getting through this area was so infuriating and agonizing. It was one of the worst areas, and I did not like doing this every time I played this game, this section. Now, obviously, I got better over time, but it was still definitely a negative memory for me playing through this game, was this one wall section. But that's behind us now, and that pretty much signals, I think, the end of this particular video. That's all the time we have, so we're going to finish up this dungeon in the next video. So until then, see y'all later.